Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
Hey guys, it's Robert from the College Investor here, and today I am talking about 3 ways that you can minimize your college student loan debt. And if you're listening or reading this today, you're likely about to incur some student loan debt, or maybe you're already in school and you're like, how do I slow down my student loan debt balance? Well, you're in the right spot, because many graduates have to put their life on hold after graduation because they honestly borrow too much money. And you can avoid these steps you can avoid these mistakes in 3 easy steps if you just follow our advice here. Did you know that last year the average graduate had about $38,000 in student loan debt? And that's not a crazy amount. I've been doing this a long time, and the most student loan debt I've ever seen personally is $350,000 for an individual and $500,000 for a couple. And I've actually heard from a friend that's in this space and is another blogger that he saw a couple with $1 million in student loans. That just blows my mind. But it happens, and it's out there. And so how can you minimize your student loan debt? Well, step 1 is to pick the right college and fast track your graduation. So selecting the right college is huge, and we are huge believers in figuring out the ROI, the return on investment of your college education. Don't go to college to find yourself. Please, I am begging you, don't go to college to find yourself. I want you to go to college because you have a purpose of going to college. And that purpose is to get a good job in the field that you want and to build the skills that you need for that job. That is what college is for. That's what it exists for. And that is what you're paying for. If you are going to go this path, you want to find the cheapest college that meets that criteria. And so you need to find out how much tuition will cost, how much all your other costs are going to have, like living expenses, and then look at your top college choices carefully and look at the lifestyle, the career opportunities, and you have to weigh the pros and cons of each. Part 2 of the equation is that you need to know how much you're going to make after you graduate. Are you going to go be a teacher? Well, what do teachers make in the state that you want to be in? If you want to go be a computer science engineer, or you want to go be a laboratory engineer, what do those people make wherever you want to go? Now you can put the 2 together and you can narrow down some choices about what colleges to attend to. The other thing you can look at is minimizing the cost. So you know what tuition is going to cost you. Well, are there any scholarships? Are there any grants that you can take out? Are you filling out the FAFSA every year, which you should be, to see if you qualify for any need-based financial aid? The thing is there's so much free money out there that you can get for college. I know quite a few people that have paid for $100,000 in college with scholarships because they put in the work and they were applying for 100 scholarships every single year, and they were paying for their college 100%. Now, that's a lot of work, and that's a big commitment, but it's one way that you can minimize the cost of your student loan debt and lowering the cost of your college as a whole. You know, a big thing is a word of caution here is try to avoid private student loans. So federal student loans do have a borrowing limit that you can borrow every single year based on a few criteria. And if you go beyond that, you have to get private student loans to pay for your education. If you're thinking about having to get private student loans, I would challenge you that you're probably paying too much for your college education, and you should look for ways to lower it. The next thing you need to do is plan effectively to graduate on time. Do not get on the 5 or 6 year plan. You are just adding to your college costs. In fact, I would say shoot for 3 years. We just talked about this on the blog about a month ago, and that how you can graduate in 3 years if you take summer classes, if you take transferable units at a community college, if you try to take AP tests when you're in high school so that you get college credit. The big thing is there are definitely ways that you can graduate in 3 years if you want to work hard and try for it. Okay, well, that's step 1, is knowing what you're going to pay for college and trying to lower those costs up front. Step 2 is budgeting and saving to minimize your student loan debt while you're in school. So you want to enjoy the college experience, but you don't want to have to go broke and spend your next 20 years paying for it. So honestly, when you're in school, you do need to budget. You need to find roommates. You need to live cheaply, live on peanut butter and jelly, and you need to create a realistic budget to really just make sure that you are minimizing the cost of your outside of school expenses. The other thing that you could do, and this is going into step 3, is increase your income and aggressively pay down any student loans that you do have to take out. So I am a huge believer of working while you're in school. So not only does working in school give you income, but working while you're in college also gives you problem-solving skills, business communication skills, and things that employers are really going to value when you graduate school. So if you can work, I personally worked full-time all 4 years when I was in school, and I know it's very possible. I also graduated 1 quarter early, and then I went to grad school also while working full time. You can definitely work full time, and that helps you earn money that you can then use to minimize your debt. Even if you can make additional payments towards your loans, or it's just that money doesn't make you have to borrow more. If you are able to, maybe you get a nice pay raise or a bonus. Can you prepay some of that student loan debt? Can you start paying off your balances early or pay the interest while you're in school? That would be a great way for you to try to minimize the amount of student loan debt you have when you graduate. Finally, the big thing to remember is it's all on you. You're the one that's choosing to go to college. You're the one that's choosing to take on this debt. No one's making you do it. No one's making you borrow it. Maybe you feel like you have to. Maybe there's some societal norms that make you think you have to go to school and borrow all this money. But look, you don't have to do any of this stuff. So really keep that in mind, and that realize that why are you going to school? How much is it costing you? And what are you going to do to pay for this after graduation? If you can focus on these 3 steps, the 3 steps are know what you're going to pay and what you're going to earn up front. Number 2 is budgeting. And number 3 is earning more money. Just make that happen and you can minimize your college debt when you're done. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you found this to be helpful for you. Hopefully it gives you some food for thought for the new year. Maybe you're going to have some New Year's resolutions around these things. So let me know on the blog. Go to thecollegeinvestor.com/episode 28. You can see the notes about everything we just talked about. And I'd love to know exactly what you're doing to minimize your college debt. All right, guys. Thank you very much and see you next time.